This is the regular meeting of the North Oakland Transportation Authority. Today is Thursday, September 21st, 2023, and we're meeting at the Oxford Township offices due to the construction at our normal meeting place. So thank you very much to Oxford Township for hosting today. So with that, I'll ask for a roll call, please, Lynn.
Oh, sure. McDonald?
Here.
Brakefield? Here. Van Portfleet?
Here.
Flood?
Here.
Curtis?
Here.
Pearson?
Here.
Payne?
Here.
Kelch is excused. Barnett is excused. Waffle?
Here.
And Borschow is excused. Okay.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Oh, fine.
So we'll do respect to the flag.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Moving on to the agenda. Are there any additions, modifications, anything that anybody has?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Support. We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as submitted. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Motion carries. Approval of the minutes of our last regular meeting, August 17th, 2023.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll support.
Second, Mike Flood. Okay. Are there any questions on the motion? If none, all in favor of the motion to approve the minutes, please say aye.
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 Opposed, please say no. Okay, the motion carries. Director's report. Lynn, anything?
Would you like me to read it, or is there anything, do you want me to just give highlights to it, or what would you prefer? So-
What's not on there
I
that
know,
maybe
there's-
we should talk about? Is there anything like related to what we have, what we've already read, or not?
So, I did meet with Brandon Township. That one is new. That happened yesterday. And we met to see what their plans were for 2024. We had met a couple months ago, and we had an agreement that we would be a supplemental to their existing, they have 2 vehicles through their senior center, and so we agreed to do a supplemental if we had ride requests that were outside of their hours of operation, which are 8:45 to 3:30, that we would help them. And so we went back and to try to firm up, because the county wanted us to. The county asked us to figure out what their plans were for '24, and they want to remain doing their service. So it's similar to Independence. They want to remain doing their service. Independence has 6 vehicles, so that's what I think we're going to continue with. I talked to Eli today from Eli Cooper from the county. He's a transit manager, and he said just to get it confirmed in writing what they want, and then from then we can then go to like the Citizen. Citizen agreed that we can do a 1-page article. Citizen is for Brandon Township, and it's a 1-page ad and then also an article for $450. So once we have like the details worked out, that's what we're going to plan on doing. We have a meeting every month with all of the providers and with Oakland County. That meeting is next Thursday, and Eli wants to kind of make sure that everyone's on the same plan. Like right now, we're 60 and over for seniors. WODA is 55, SMART 65. You know, everyone's a little bit different. So I think he's trying to have a county-wide, everyone be the same. I think they're going with 55 is what he's leaning towards. But I think OPC is actually 50. So I don't know where it's going to be, but whatever that age range is that the county decides that they want us to do, we'll probably adjust for that. So. My concern was if there was federal dollars that you bill into seniors, what is that requirement? But we might have to have 2 different categories, because, you know, I think that the county is looking at trying to provide service whoever needs it, right? So I think making that senior a little bit bigger category, I think that they are in favor of that, just to try to give more people service.
What township was that you had a meeting at?
Brandon Township
Brandon,
yesterday.
okay, sorry.
No, that's all right. We also met with
Can
Independence.
I ask one question? They understand that they're still getting
the millage of .95 for Brandon Township, but they don't want any services through that millage.
So that's what I did bring up the point. I said, your taxpayers are paying it, and I said, we're here to provide that service. So they said, that's fine if you provide the service. We just don't want it to affect our service. We want to continue doing our service because she, you know, their belief is that we couldn't, you know, give the caring service that they provide. And so I feel like they are fine with us providing service, but they want to still maintain their current service. So
If I,
there is an overlap, and it can be confusing, and so Eli seems to think that it might work itself out in the next couple years when our program gets going and whatnot. And I think a lot of it is just, I'm not sure if there's a trust there, you know, as far as what kind of service we provide. I think they look at us as neighbors, not hometown people, you know, and I get that. And so Independence had talked about maybe doing a pilot program just so that they can get to know how we operate, make sure that they understand the trust level. So that one's still in negotiations with Oakland County. Oakland County had a meeting with Independence this week on Monday, still trying to figure out where that's going. But for now, we're still doing supplemental service for them as well. So we have an agreement in writing with Independence and with Springfield Township to do all rides that are outside of their service area, which they just operate in their townships, the two townships. The only places they go outside of the townships is Great Lake Crossing, McLaren, and St. Joe's and Pontiac. So those are the only things they do outside of it. So, and they end at 4 o'clock. So anything outside of their times and weekends, we'll take for them. So that's the agreement.
Mike?
Different subject
Yes.
on your report list. I got a question on the last two paragraphs on the back page. The Adept IQ new dispatch software, is that supposed to be February of '24?
Oh, yes.
You said move back. I thought that was just a typo.
That was
Yeah.
a typo, yes.
And then a
Thank
question
you.
on the last paragraph, are we gonna take a vote to move the meeting October 19th?
That would be great to be here, if that's okay.
They're gonna
Jack?
require
We
somewhere along
yeah,
the
we
line.
should, because we have to officially, we're changing the location.
Do that
Okay,
under
Which
new
is-
business or something? or-
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Good point, Mike. Thank
That
you.
is.
Get the
That's it.
donuts ordered.
Yeah.
Especially being October.
right.
Were
and
you
I-
done, Mike?
If there's any other questions, I'll,
Oh, I do have another point with the parking lot project. There was a couple extra setbacks that came up this week. The big one that was the catch basins that, you know, that was the big $40,000 one. Then a couple little ones were, well, I'm not sure how little, we're not sure. So the very back part, we did soil samples, but and it showed that there were 7 inches of topsoil. But when they started digging, there's actually 4 feet. So there's a whole bunch of extra topsoil back there.
I could use it.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, I don't know,
Just
like some
rock
really nice, good topsoil, which I would think we're gonna keep some of it for some maintenance of our areas that we're gonna need, but we have a lot that we have to take out, and then we have to bring some other in, so there's that issue. And then also like the gutters, we're trying to have those underneath the ground, and where the cement was poured originally, they have to chip all that away because it came out. So, you know, little setbacks, but nothing major. Just want to let you
Jack
know.
just repaired what it is out there in this parking lot.
Yeah, yeah.
We
But
had no ADA ramps, so we made those
Okay, that all.
compliant, and we had some cracking and a sinkhole, and so we did it all.
all right.
Looks good.
I want to bring up just one point, and you've heard this from me before, Lynn, but where does the county leave off and we take over? Because right now, it sounds like Eli has you doing all the dirty work. I mean, I'm sorry to put it that way, but I mean, you're administratively doing things for them. They do know you have a full-time job, you know, right? I mean, so
Right.
is this a burden for you? Or, I mean, I don't want NODA because you're spearheading it, NODA getting the blame. You know, if we're not getting something in writing from them, and the county is the one that, in my opinion, should be at the head of this. In other words, and who are you dealing with? You're not dealing with any of the elected officials, are you?
Yesterday, we met with the supervisor, Brandon, and Faye, who's in charge of the
Okay.
senior center.
And he
So-
was on board for everything she
He
said?
said, it's okay if you go do your service. He's like, we just want to maintain our service, is what he said. So,
Okay. Well-
so I'll send an email to both of them and get confirmation that
Yeah.
that's that they're in agreement with that. And, Eli said it's, we're contracting to do a service. We don't necessarily need their permission to do the service in their area because we're not charging them, to transport in there. He talked to her after the meeting yesterday, and she confirmed that, she's like, is that true? You're not going to reimburse us in 24? He said, yes, it's in 1 year only. We've provided, we've made contracts with the NODA to provide service in your area. And so he's told her as well. So she confirmed after me. But I think that the county is looking at us as wanting to have the relationship with these providers. And yeah, it's not necessarily
Well, if you're
always super
okay,
friendly,
if
but-
you're comfortable with it
Right,
and it's
right.
not taking up too much time, but my concern is, right now, is that Faye is an employee of the township.
right.
If the only people that should be signing off on this plan is in my opinion, the township board.
Right.
Quite frankly, for both communities, Independence and Brandon, because for this very reason, they're collecting a millage in their community. They're not benefiting from it unless we're there. Mm-hmm. And people should know that. That should be clearly part of the process here,
Right. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to put in the citizen paper when we do it. It's like, this is your tax dollars at work. We're here because of Oakland County, we're here providing service because this is what you're paid for.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. I just want everybody to
Yeah.
understand how big a role Lynn is playing in this, almost kind of she's the default go-to person for the county for doing this stuff. And I mean, I think puts us in an awkward position. I know she can manage it, but I think we all need to be aware of that.
I'd
Bruce.
just like to add, I don't think we have the authority it's the county who has the authority, because this is not our millage. We're just collecting the money from our residents just like they are, but it's the county who is administering
Right.
this whole thing. They should be at least going with you to talk to them and not just sending you. They should have their
That's a good point.
representative with you, because you should actually be in the background saying, we can provide the service, but these are the people that are running the show. Because I don't want any bad feelings for the other townships thinking that we, for some reason, are trying to take them over.
And then how do we
Right.
put a value on our service, Lynn, under those vague outlines? We're providing a supplemental service. How much is the county going to be willing to supplement our budget in order to accomplish this? I mean, right now, it's kind of smoke and mirrors. We don't know how many people, really, do we yet? We really
We
don't have a
don't.
good
We
idea.
don't know yet.
How many trips we might end up having there. So, and that's why I think the county needs to be involved. Ed, you had your hand up before Mr. Curtis.
That is
but-
exactly what I was gonna ask you to ask Lynn, as chairman of, I would like to see next month a report of who you're talking to and how many trips you're having to go. And I agree with Bruce a little bit. It should be the county and you go with the county instead of the county go with you. And that's my opinion, but you need to let us know who you're talking with up there, not necessarily, but who's the county? How's the county handling it? But you're excellent on paperwork and the mileage and how much you're spending and how much we're spending. It'd be nice to have just a page and saying, this is what it's cost us so far, all these trips, and maybe we can hit the county, this is extra. This is not part of the package.
We are getting the supplemental
We are.
routes during our reports, such as they are. And yes, Lynn, we did get supplemental monies, although this budget thing that the county's pulling, they don't want to show all of the money. Maybe
Well-
you should explain that to us as well.
Yeah, with the, you mean the budget adjustments?
Yeah.
Yeah, so at last meeting, I did a budget adjustment to increase the allotted millage, hoping that we could get additional vehicles kind of get ready for it. But it sounds like the county talking to Eli, he's like, it's gonna be really hard to get another budget adjustment through this year. He's like, let's push it to next year and just do one budget adjustment. So he asked me to go back to the original budget and just work within that this year. And let's push all my costs that I want to put into, which is, it's fine for me. It's just, I'll buy the vehicles next year. It's not operational. So it was fine. So I did do those adjustments and I said, we can build it in. So I did talk to Eli today and he said, I just want to make sure that you're going to be ready to roll and you'll have enough. So I think we're going to, I have 10 vehicles on order for next year and 7 vehicles that I was going to buy this year that we're going to have to put into next year. So that's going to be at least 17 vehicles. And he's like, I want to make sure that you are, like, when we say go, that you have the resources there ready to go so that you're set up to go. So he's like, we need to, and that's what we're going to be working through is next year's budget. I just sent him 2023's adjustment with just the original amount that they had, and we're fine to be working within that. We still will have about 100,000 cushion for our project, for the parking lot project built into that also, and so we should be fine. For this year, we're going to be working on the 24 budget in the next month, which will be approved in November.
Question on, maybe I didn't hear it. Eli Cooper, he's with the county.
He's the transit manager for the county,
He's
yes.
the transit man. He's not the financial guru guy you're working with. He's the manager.
So the county didn't have a transit department, so he's the head of that, and Sarah is like his assistant. So the two of them are who we mostly deal with all the providers. And then he reports to the executive office, like Hillary Chambers and David.
As far as I know, working with the county, we all do. Everything has to go through the Board of Commissioners.
Oh, yeah, for
We're
sure.
budgeting.
And that's what he's saying. He's saying that in order to do that, he doesn't have they don't have the timeline to accomplish that.
That ties us all in now
Yeah.
together.
Right,
Yeah.
Thank you.
exactly,
I'm
yes.
trying to tie these loose ends together.
That's right, right.
So I guess I'm having a little bit of a struggle. He doesn't want you to make a budget adjustment again this year for the additional vehicles, but at the same time, he wants you to be ready to go up and running when they say go.
Right, so I
So
think,
they're kind
Expecting
of
us to front that, is what you're
No,
saying? I
I-
guess I'm not understanding, and I appreciate that
Right.
question. 'cause I don't-
Yeah.
and that was just a phone call, like as I was driving here. But I think we want to do is have a vision for next year, like, so that we have a plan in action. Because right now, we're in a transition period, so we're
Right.
not really, we're not really promising the world. We're just kind of trying to get through and get things set up. But I think he wants us to have a plan for next year that he thinks that we'll be confident to be able to provide service in those areas. So it may not be ready till January 1st, but that we have a plan in it, like, built out.
But we won't have the buses
No.
because
And-
if we can't order the buses.
Right. We won't. It will be, I think he
And
wants to.
that's not an overnight thing. We can't order them one week.
Yeah,
and
I
get
mean,
them the
aren't they
next week.
taking like a long time to get in?
are. The transits are supposed to come, the 10 transits that we were supposed to get in January, or in June, are coming in January. So that's 10 vehicles that are supposed to come in
Okay.
next year. So that should be pretty quickly. We did have 7 minivans that were available today. I don't know if they're still going to be available in January, I don't know. But we don't have the funding now, that 400-some thousand that I was requesting to have those extra 7 minivans. We just took out for this year, and we'll just have to see when the availability is for next year.
Mr. Curtis?
Yeah, I was wrestling with what you two guys were talking about earlier today. I'm gonna say this out loud. I was wondering, why do we still have a nota board? And then I thought,
This is fine.
I know,
Mm-hmm.
L4029, have you turned yours in yet? To the county?
Did you always have that?
We just got
Treasurer.
ours
What
figured out.
millage rate did you turn in for nota?
Nothing.
0.
So did we.
Yep, we too, 0.
So we don't put any money into nota now.
Right.
It's all done through the RTA .95.
It's not RTA, it's
Oakland County.
Oakland Transit.
Oakland Transit.
Yeah.
Okay, OTA.
Because there is a difference, and I don't
Yes.
want to get confused.
Right.
We're not putting any money in there.
But we own the assets.
We own the assets.
And we own the assets and we own the structure.
And they're contracting with
We don't
us.
own Lynn.
Well, no, she's our
Yeah,
employee.
No,
right.
she's not.
Yeah.
She
She's
gets
an employee
paid
of the
through
county.
someone else, but she still, we only get a lump sum of money, but it's still our employees.
I'm wrestling with that. I was wrestling with it today.
So.
They're contracting.
As I see it, as Bruce said, we own this group of assets, the building, vehicles and all the equipment that goes with.
Correct.
And so we need a board for that. And having all these assets, we need support staff, we need drivers, we need an administrator, we need maintenance people. So all of that comes under our purview because those assets are ours.
See, that's what I'm wrestling with. Eventually, they won't be.
Well,
Because she's
we-
buying
He said
17
that
new
a long
buses.
time ago,
She's
That's what-
buying
yeah, that's what Chris
17
was
new
saying,
buses. When our buses go out of service, we're not gonna get any money back.
Well,
We usually don't get money back right now with ours, because ours are owned by Smart.
See where I'm going?
But
This is-
there-
3
Well,
years from now,
that's what we talked
Her
about.
buses will be new and purchased by, the only thing we'll own is the building.
Because the cash in our
Yeah.
bank will have been spent, and that's now cash.
Well,
well, and that might
Lynn is
happen
not-
3, 4 years, 5 years
our,
from now.
we've frozen, not officially, but we have frozen that.
We're not
We're
spending our
operating on the county's money. What they give us is what we're operating on. And I want to be very clear on that. Lynn and I have talked about that. This is, the board still controls all the assets and all the funds that were in place when this transit program began.
Yes.
And Oakland County said they don't want to run us, they want a contract with us, because they basically, they don't want to get involved with all of the details at all. They just want to give the money.
politics.
They want to give the
Yeah.
money and have the job done.
I would
but they
also
want to.
say that we're all, most of us are elected officials, we're community elected officials. And don't you feel as though there needs to be, that it's helpful for our residents that we have the oversight here? That we get to make some decisions, that we get to say, this is what we need, what our residents need, this is what they don't need.
It's the only way of controlling it, because
In other
once
words,
you lose
control.
that control,
Yeah.
then the county,
You'll-
these
you'll get what
buses
they
will
give
show
you.
Yes.
up down
That's the
Yeah.
bottom
the
line.
south end, and they'll say, well, we needed them someplace else at a different depot, and we're not bringing them out here, you're gonna be short this month because, we didn't realize that we needed them in Ferndale or Royal Oak or someplace else, so. But these are assigned, we have the assets, the building, the structure. If they wanna collapse us, they'd have to buy us out of this, and then that money should go back to all of the
All the
entities.
communities.
Did you have a comment, Mike? I saw your hand go up.
I forgot what it was now.
Okay, okay.
Oh, I know what it was now. The smart credits still come to each municipality.
Oh, including the
changed.
villages, that's.
That hasn't changed. That's why I said each municipality,
Yeah.
those still come
get them
through us.
smart
Yeah,
credits?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they sign them over to us.
I
Yeah,
keep
Right.
asking Lynn when they're gonna just say she works for them and start sending her out to all these
Well,
communities.
that's
and
what's
exactly
happening
what's happening.
in a sense. And you know, we haven't
They
yet,
don't
the
pay
biggest
them.
repercussion may be yet to come, because if I was a board member in Springfield or Brandon or Independence, and and our service starts to become more popular, bigger, any way you want to describe it, what are they gonna do, sit on their hands? I
They
mean,
want
they
a seat
might,
on
they
the
might
board.
want to be on a seat on the
Yes,
board,
for
which,
their assets
which
that they
that's
have.
another, we do have a process for that to happen, but it's not mandatory. We can't be forced to let a community, why we wouldn't, I don't know, but,
Because they're not part of our assets.
Right.
Because they
Right.
don't.
Well,
We should
yeah,
turn
we-
this around on them and say, if you want us to provide services, have those people come to our transportation authority and see Lynn,
By Lynn's-
instead of us running out to them and trying to pretend like I'm afraid that, I get along with all the township supervisors over here, and I'm not understanding why they don't want our services, but yet they're being taxed. Is it because they don't trust somebody?
And it's not a small tax, it's 0.95.
yeah, it's huge,
And,
it's
and
huge.
is it that they don't trust the county?
I think that they just, they feel that they give better service to their people. I feel like it's, and I offered to hire their drivers, that they could stay there and have the vehicles. If they lease the vehicles to us, they could basically, they have the same job, operate out of that building, and you just get a paycheck from NODA, really. It would be, and you get a raise,
The
you know?
county should be doing that.
Right.
Well-
No, but that's,
The county
right,
Lynn's going out
right.
and facing people like the lady in Independence. And I mean, that's not nice, not at all.
No.
But
And that's why I say, that's why
She's
that was
out there
my,
catching all the animosity from
yeah.
all these
Well,
people.
Right.
not only that, she's doing all the legwork for the county,
And
and
why
in
they
fact,
think
they
that
should
she
be,
can
they
do
should
that
be
is that they-
lockstepping with us as a contractor.
Well, I'm just
You
I
know,
think they can
I'm
do
gonna
that
throw
because they
this out
don't
there,
wanna
Mike.
do it.
You're
They're
the
pushing
chairperson of
it.
this board, maybe you should call the county and
Dave
say,
Woodward's
you need to
gonna
do
have
something at
all
home
of
floor.
this.
I can do that.
know,
But talk to,
There's-
but you
there's
two
some-
need to have the conversation, because
There's
Lynn might be.
Well, Lynn has a
just,
better
I'm okay-
read.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with this. the way it is. The thing about her doing this is she's more on the inside.
Right, right.
And that's kind of an advantage too.
Right.
Exactly, because.
Well, Lynn
that's
knows
a
I'm
question.
available, at least I
Right.
think you know.
Oh, yeah,
that if-
I do.
If I'm needed,
I was surprised.
but if the board,
The Brandon was this,
to,
I didn't expect that from Brandon. I expected from
Yeah.
Independence. I didn't expect it from Brandon.
well,
'cause I
Brandon's a
thought
funny township.
they're all pencil,
They
they
didn't
don't
want
do
the Iron
anything,
Bell
and, you
either.
know,
They didn't want the
And some of
Iron
them are
Bell
holding
Trail
out
going through their
Oh,
community.
so-
They are,
Very different.
Yeah.
and they're officials. Mike,
And so-
I want to make a motion to receive them vouchers.
thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Second,
my apologies, folks.
Lot of balls in the air.
Yes,
Okay.
there is.
Is there a
we all
second?
have ideas.
Yeah, we-
Good, all right.
All those in favor of receiving and filing the director's report, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. And thank you for your patience, folks, but, you know, we do need direction. Lynn doesn't need much direction, but I do. If you want me involved, I need to know in what capacity, because I don't have your authority unless you give it to me to do anything with the county or anybody else, quite frankly, so.
That's pretty much what I was asking for Lynn, to give us an idea who's
Right.
really involved.
Well, she has, and she's been keeping me informed. But really, what you're hearing is what I've been hearing for 2 months, or at least 2 months, maybe longer.
Well, maybe this board should send a letter to the county asking for their direction on how they want to include these other, it should not be us going out.
Thank you.
So I sent
Okay.
an email to Eli after the Independence meeting, because it was contentious, but I mean, I went saying, hey, I'm here in peace. Like, I'm here in peace, I'm here only because the county sent me here. I said, I'm not here as a, hostile takeover. This is not why I'm here. I'm here because the county, there's taxes, they picked us, and we're here to offer service. What can we do is offer service, and I said, if you want to maintain your service, that's fine. That's not between you and the county. It's not between me. I said, I'm here to offer service, tell you what service we have. This is the service we do. So I feel like when we left, we were fine. Her fight was with the county, which it should be, right? Which is fine. But since then, I told Eli, I said, you need to give me direction after this, because I don't. And so they came up with a memo. And a memo of 3 different options, and that was part of their meeting last week on Monday. And it took like 2 weeks, and had to go to all their executive offices and whatever, and how to approach it. And I'm like, this is on you. It is on them. And I wasn't at that meeting, and I'm glad to not have been at that meeting. And it was, I think, 10-1, kind of, they had all their officials and whatever. So I don't know how it's going to work out. So with Independence, I think that there's some working out. I feel fine on that side, that Jennifer and I have a good understanding. She sent me an email. She said, I just want to confirm this is the understanding that you will service only outside of the areas. And I confirmed, yep, that's fine. Everything else, I said, we'll dual register our people. And if it's in your area, I'll send them your way. It was very cordial, so I have no problem with dealing with that. So we'll see how it goes with Brandon. But I just want to let you know that I did get the county involved. They did go through a whole memo process with the whole legal team and whatever, because I had it in an email and he had to.
I
So-
suggest that our chairman should write a letter from the NODA board to them explaining that this has put us in a very uneasy situation, and we would prefer that the county contact these other townships and then tell us what they prefer, instead of us going there
That would be
with our
fun.
neck on the line.
Is that a motion, Bruce? I'll second it.
Yeah, that's a motion.
I'll second it. You want a roll call on that one?
It's not spending money, but is everybody in favor of it?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Unanimous.
okay, unanimously, make a note.
Remind them that we're here to help, but we're not, we don't want to be the bad guys in this.
Okay,
Well, and she doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
yeah.
She works for us.
As of
Asking
today.
county- So we're asking the county to,
To to contact the other areas themselves and ask what they can provide in services for them, and then contact us and tell us what they have negotiated, and then we'll provide the services. But we shouldn't be doing the negotiating.
And I think we need that just so that we have an official, you know, this is all happening in the dark. The residents in these communities really don't know what's going on, except for maybe the ones that are using the service. And I think what the board's attitudes in these communities will change when the residents start asking, I'm paying all this money, what am I getting? And they have to say, well, really, you're getting what we already have. And that's an evolutionary thing. And and I'm good with that because we're not going to be swamped immediately with transportation requests, but it's coming down the road. So I'm fine with this. Lynn and I will work on a draft. Am I left to my own devices to send it, or does somebody,
Your own devices, and then.
does somebody else want to
Yes, you are.
proofread it or
blunt,
anything?
Mike.
Okay, we'll do the best.
My thing is,
that I
we should
can.
also maybe just figure out for those townships, how much are they collecting in taxes on that .95 for each township?
Good point.
And they're not getting any
I
service.
thought about that. I'd like to know, like, what the dollar amount is for Oxford.
They've gotta be
and
300,000 apiece or
Yeah.
something or more in
They-
independence.
And they could, this,
Treasurer's got that information.
yeah, this,
So does ours.
this could really change their operations as well, because once the word gets out that they have that service, their budgets may not be able to absorb the amount of travel requests, et cetera. And then their boards would have to ante up money for vehicles, personnel, et cetera. So I think it is evolutionary, but
Very
let's make it clear in the beginning how the, what do they call that? The chain of command or the, yeah, the pecking order.
Criteria or whatever.
There's a better term than that. I
We
can't
need an
remember.
organizational chart or something.
Yeah, that's org chart. Yeah, I mean, really, that's probably,
You see, today, the county just announced they have the biggest budget in history.
Yeah.
Sure, they just got another .95 mils.
Well, they got, well, I mean, for the whole county, it's
top of
$1
that,
billion,
yeah.
over $1 billion now budget for the first time. A lot of giveaways.
okay.
Public comments?
And last person, Mr. Porford.
I just wanted to say you'll notify all of the board members the date it's sent and what the letter
CC,
says.
yeah.
Thank you.
That's
We'll,
good, CC.
we'll CC everybody. Okay.
Right.
Making a note?
I'm glad
Thank
your
you.
name's on it, Mike.
Yeah, well, I'm really popular where I live too, so I might as well make it the whole county. Okay,
You got elected, didn't you?
I know when I meet with the other supervisor, Jack and I were, I know nothing.
okay.
So we don't want our name anywhere.
Are there any public comments? Cody's
Oh,
not.
Cody?
Okay, we have none.
I make a move to approve the financial activity as presented.
Or,
Okay, all those in favor of the motion to receive and file the financial activity, please say aye.
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 Opposed, please say no. We have bills in the amount of, if I've got it right, $141,214.58.
Yes.
So moved. Approved.
Okay.
For July and August,
Thank you.
23. I beat Margaret. I had mine already circled.
I had mine ready too.
What was the other amount? We already
41.
did August.
I noticed
No,
that
we,
one- that one
it
check
should be
wasn't in
just,
there.
it should just be,
It just came today. I just
Oh,
got the bill
okay.
today, so, and he wanted it to pick up tomorrow, so.
good catch, Margie.
Yeah,
I'm paying attention.
yeah, it was,
We
Okay,
approved the bills the last minute meeting because we didn't have them.
right, I forgot to bring them. I forgot
That's
to
what
include it in
I'm
the
doing right
packet,
now.
right.
okay, can we have a roll call for that motion then, please?
McDonald?
Yes.
Brakefield?
Yes.
Van Porfleet?
Yes.
Flood?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes,
Payne?
Yes.
Wappel?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, all right, motion carried.
Marshall showed up, so yes.
Oh, and I'm sorry,
Yes.
Lori, all right.
Yeah, I've got her
Nope,
at
Sorry.
4:55.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Lori, I'm still there.
Okay, 2023 budget adjustments.
Yes.
So,
Like I said, I had to reduce the budget because the county asked me to go with the original budget they gave us of $2,847,605. So I reduced the millage revenue by $589,631. But then when I was reviewing all of our grants, I actually had $257,000 more in grants this year that I didn't budget, so that actually helped me. We're actually pretty close to single audit requirement of $750,000. We're at 707 right now with federal grants, which is amazing. So there's that adjustment. Increased investment income, 18,000. We're looking at 120,000 in investment income, which is great. And a couple of little adjustments. One is I reduced our snow removal by 20,000, and I adjusted some fringe benefits and drivers based on our change of what routes I was making. I also we decreased the vehicle expenses, but I did leave enough money in the vehicle expenses to purchase one snowplow for $66,210 for a parking lot and 2 additional minivans. So that's what the change orders. And we have an additional 100-some thousand, because the county paid for $650,000 for our parking lot. The original bid came in at $492. We're already up over 50 from there, so keeping it at the original $650 gives us some room in case of additional changeover, so I thought I would keep it there. So that changes our, is there any questions on those?
Yes.
Yeah,
We all want to know, is it a balanced budget?
it's balanced.
It's balanced.
Okay.
And I've got
and
3
we-
additional vehicles to
and we're not
purchase in that.
And we're not spending NOTA money?
No,
This is
no.
all county?
This is all county.
Okay.
And
that's-
grant money.
And grant. Well, grant money's kind of our money.
Yeah, well, it's operating, yeah.
Yeah, you're bringing it in.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
with
Okay.
that understanding,
I make a motion to approve the 2023 budget amendments with revenues and expenses balancing at $4,143,137.
Thank you.
Support.
all right. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, could we have a roll call, please, Lynn?
Yes. McDonald?
Yes.
Brakefield?
Yes.
Van Portfleet?
Yes.
Flood?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Payne?
Yes.
Waffle?
Yes.
And Borschow?
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, we have no old business unless somebody thought of something while we were sitting here. And new business, Lynn's already alluded to it, moving forward with a plow truck for the use of NOTA. Lynn, I'll let you go ahead and,
Sure, we did a little research on looking at some used vehicles and versus new vehicles. Some of the used vehicles we were finding had a lot of miles on it for like almost 40,000, and so we did find 2 vehicles. We had one at Gorno Ford, which is what I had, for $66,610. They're on the My Deal contract.
Is this brand new?
Brand new, and it
Okay.
comes with the salt spreader and the plow. But then there's also one that Nigel did some research, because I had found one at LaFontaine that was for $72,957, and they came down to $65,000. So they said, because he said, well, I've got this My Deal. You're not on the My Deal? I've got this at 66. They said that they would take 65,000. So I do have an adjustment that just
the
came in.
spreader and the plow.
Spreader and the plow. It's a little different in that it's a flatbed with this instead of the.
Are they in the,
But it's a Ford F-250, same,
the dualies on the back? The one is single, isn't it?
no, not an F-250 wouldn't be.
it's a F-250.
No,
Here's all the details on
The
it.
second
So
one is,
this one is the one that,
Okay,
is
so single.
65,000.
now, are they in
They're not in My Deal.
we don't have to go out for bids? If you go in My Deal, you don't have to go out for bids.
Right,
But
it's
if you-
under the My Deal, so it's cheaper than the My Deal. The My
But do you
Deal,
have to still go out for
I
bids
think if
you
it's
don't go for the
under-
My Deal?
That's up to the board, I think, unless,
I don't-
I don't know.
because we have an exclusion on our procurement policy for vehicles. So that the board can make an exception for vehicles because of the availability
You
of
have the
it.
use for the flatbed compared to the pickup box bed? That's the question here, that's the difference.
It is, that's the difference.
Yeah,
Because you can take the salt spreader off
Right,
for the summer.
right.
On the
Is it a
pickup.
higher capacity with the flatbed?
I'm trying to figure out.
Here's, you see him?
Both F-250.
I don't know enough about vehicle trucks, so I'm the wrong person to ask that. I'm like, I had the guys do
We
the
all have
research.
to.
Okay.
Flatbed is Oxford White.
You're gonna have it,
It's,
logoed, right?
Load it up, yes. Yes.
they both have the same plow, do we know, Lynn?
Company other than these two,
That's the only ones we could find available right now.
that's it. So, the, hope that the board will go along with it, I'd like to waive the purchasing requirement because you have gone through everyone that you could get it from.
Right. Just the question is, which is the best? If you guys know, if you guys
Kind
are,
of compare the,
Yeah.
this one
That's-
has running boards, which you really don't want on a salt truck. Is that the actual truck here?
no, that one's showing the salt spreader, I think. That one's showing with the spreader so the actual truck should be the,
Might be the
maybe
retractable.
stock images.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know which is.
You read
This
like
is the actual
previews
truck.
of the.
here's
of
the
truck?
actual, the first truck versus.
Right.
that's-
Yeah, I see
oh,
that
you
one,
do?
then I see this one.
Yeah, the one from LaFontaine is the one with the flatbed, so I'm,
It's a 6.2 liter and one from,
They're both gas, right?
yes, 6.8 liter
Yeah.
called out on the one with the bed. But I'm not that familiar with Ford engines. They're both gas. V8 6-speed auto.
We're talking $1,600 difference here, right?
right,
Now it boils down to, do you want the
Flatbed or-
flatbed or do you want a pickup?
Well, here's the difference. The flatbed one is an extended cab. Okay, where the other one is just a two-door straight.
Shorter
So
box.
you're getting a better deal with the extended cab, even though it's not the four-door.
So what kind of mileage are you gonna get with the flatbed, because it's a longer vehicle, what kind of mileage are you gonna get with the flatbed?
I don't think it's,
versus-
I don't think it's any
Not gonna
longer.
not gonna be
Our
using it
use
in
is gonna
city.
be such short,
Yeah.
short, we're not gonna get highway miles on it, it's gonna burn gas.
And that comes to another issue that
Well,
I'd like to bring
plowing
up on
takes
it.
gas.
Yeah, but no, this is the actual vehicle here. And if you notice, it's got the little bigger back hatch to put some equipment, where the other
It's a
one is
cabinet
strictly a
hatch.
two-door.
that's a good point. That's true.
It's
Yeah,
actually
it
a
is
more
extended
expensive
super cab.
truck. The one that's cheaper is actually more expensive.
You got the extended cab on it, yeah.
The original cost was $72,987 on it, and it came down to 65, so.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, there it is right there.
yeah.
Wow. You must be really wanting to get rid of that truck. pretty bad.
Well, we're happy to take it off their hands.
Yes, we are.
Well, we can't sit on our hands because they're not gonna be,
Go for it.
I'd like to make a motion that we allow Noda to purchase the flatbed truck, $65,000 from
LaFontaine, okay.
With the plow and
With the plow.
and the salt spreader.
Correct.
That's all combined, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Who's the support?
Who had the support?
I did.
You did, Ken? Okay, thanks.
Ken did?
Yes.
Okay, and what was the amount?
65,000.
Not to exceed?
Okay,
Sure.
question on the motion?
Of course they are.
The state was at 65,000.
I think it's 65,000. I mean, we're tax exempt,
Yep.
Okay.
so we're tax exempt,
should
so I
be
don't
out
know.
the
I mean,
door.
obviously, there might be
That's-
vehicle fees or
That's how
something.
you
I don't
qualify
know.
for
You know.
the,
My deal.
Then
my
we
deal
just
if we were
call
using
the
it.
motion, 65,000 out the door, and if he says, well, it's a little bit more,
Yeah.
gotta go back. You say, no, wait.
That's why I said not to exceed.
you have some kind of expenditure authority, don't you?
Yeah, I
Mike?
do.
Okay.
yeah.
LaFontaine's got a backup camera. I don't see one on the other one.
Oh, it does, huh?
The only thing I would say then is the resale value, when you go to get rid of it, is the regular pickup truck more valuable with the regular bed on it than the the one with the flatbed?
The flatbed truck has a smaller engine. It's a 6.2, and the other one's a 6.8.
And the other one has I
But-
mean, if you were ever to sell it later on, you know,
You think?
well, I'm just saying that that one's marketable, where the flatbed is gonna be just a few people that'd be interested in it.
Yeah, but that flatbed's gonna look better after all the wear and tear, because you
Yeah.
don't have that bed getting all banged up.
Yeah, you'll have room in the back seat for the jumper cables and the battery jump box and stuff. It won't have to be out on a flat deck,
Right.
subject to all the weather and everything. You could get a tonneau cover, although that might not work with a salt spreader on a regular
No,
pickup.
well,
So,
Well, salt's eventually gonna rust these things out.
oh, yeah.
I don't care if you got a pickup truck or
Flatbed be
what.
better,
Right.
yeah.
Even they got all the protection on that, it's still gonna get in there.
well,
And the guys were talking about having the whole thing protected after we get it to help a little bit, right? Yeah.
right.
You're using it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
for
well,
sure.
we have a motion and a second on the floor.
And
For-
that's for the flatbed one.
The 60
For the
flatbed.
flatbed, Ford flatbed, 6.2 liter, LaFontaine with the plow and salt spreader at $65,000.
Not to exceed 60.
Not to exceed? My,
Make that motion and call the roll. I have a question. It says, new vehicle pricing includes all offers and incentive, tax, title, and tags not included in vehicle prices. And must be paid by the purchaser. While great efforts are made to ensure the accuracy of the information on this site, this is taken off the webpage. So they tell you right there, title
Yeah.
and tags.
Title
not
tags,
included.
yeah.
That's off.
But is that from also the my,
no, the Michigan deal does have some language, first come, first serve, and there's one left. And that due to
Back in 'em, each one.
Due to a computer chip shortage and other various supply issues, Ford Motor has put government fleet sales on allocation. Therefore, Ford Pro Fleet will have sole discretion regarding final approval of the order based on customer order history. Well, we've bought some Ford vans, haven't we?
Through them.
So,
Well,
yeah, so that probably isn't.
I didn't see the one from Garno add that in there, but
Well, anybody
Yeah,
that
that's
wants to
true.
buy the Ford flatbed with the plow and spreader from LaFontaine, please, I guess we better do a roll call.
but he had
We'll
the
get this-
price limit on it.
Right.
Yeah,
Not to exceed
not to exceed
65. In my
65,000.
mind, that takes care of the tax or the title and the tags. I mean, when you call them, tell them not to exceed. Come on.
But
That's a discretionary.
I think that's,
the amount
I
of-
think that's a discretionary thing. She has discretion to, up to a certain dollar amount to pay the extra. Are we really gonna let?
Modify my motion to the 65,000, I'm gonna take not to exceed out, and then have Lynn the discretion how to handle the plates.
I think that would be the better way to go.
Okay.
Ken, do you still support that?
Let me ask if there's a different way. Let Lynn find out which one will be the cheaper and the final, and one may say there's no tax, everything's included, and one may say, no, I want you to
I
pay
could do
the
that.
tax.
I don't have a
But
problem
we're not exactly comparing apples and oranges. We're talking about a crew cab or a super cab versus a conventional cab. Okay,
Yeah,
a flatbed versus a pickup bed.
But Lori's right, he's using the regular pickup truck, he's plowing, he backs up and hits the post, boom, bends the tailgate, oh crap, and he moves and hits a dent in the back end. Next thing you know, your pickup's useless. But if it's a flatbed, you can bump into it and it's got that little bar across the back and he fills it and.
Mr. Curtis,
Might-
you're scaring me, Ed.
Like I said, you can hire the
Let
other
him
driver, we
drive,
just
okay?
fired.
how much discretion, how much discretion does Lynn have in expenditures?
5,000.
All right, in this we're not paying tax.
No,
Right.
Title and tags are not 5,000.
no.
Right.
If they're not included in the 65,
She can
the
go
motion
for it.
can handle, and if the title and tags come in, license plates, are about $380 for the
Right,
truck.
right.
And title transfer is $65.
I mean, she handles those on a daily basis for all of our fleet,
So
so. Mar-
65,000.
Margie?
He's your operations manager.
Yeah,
Bill.
that's how we always
He
buy
liked
our
the
vehicles.
flatbed.
Okay. Then
He
we're
liked the
on.
flatbed.
So we're going with the
I mean,
flatbed.
Yeah, he did. He
The-
liked the
Okay.
flatbed.
The motion remains the same for the flatbed, super cab, white, equipped with, everything, and we had a modification to the amendment to the motion to remove not to exceed. Anybody else have any thoughts before we vote?
I just want to say that the body material is aluminum on the flatbed. That's an advantage, I think, as well, the floor material.
Well, you can add weight. The flatbeds are usually a little lighter than the pickup.
Well, that spreader in there, that's
But
gonna have your
but it's
weight.
gonna, yeah, until you're empty. Okay,
I think still
can we
weight.
have a roll call then for this purchase, please?
McDonald.
Yes.
Brakefield. Van Portfleet. Flood.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Wappel.
Yes.
Bordeaux.
Yes.
I'd
Okay,
just like to add one thing on this after, now that we've purchased it, or we're going to. We have the same issue with our fire departments. They always have the pickup trucks and everything. And it's come to our attention that we had to put parameters on it, that the truck couldn't be just driven home to different houses because people took it.
All of a sudden accidentally dropped the plow.
And they can't, and they can't plow
How big
private
tax-
driveways.
how big
This
tax
is for
dollars?
the use of NODA.
And their driveway.
And for the use of daily, but not to be driven home by someone and brought back every night, or like a free ride
Well-
back and forth.
then let's give Mike and Lynn an opportunity to draft a use policy
Yeah.
for that vehicle.
Because my
That
neighbors
addresses
were, "Oh,
those
how come my
concerns,
driveway
Lynn.
isn't
Do you mind?
plowed?" I said, "When
Please.
did yours get plowed?" "Oh, by the nice fireman." Yeah, so.
So if there's this personal vehicle, more power to him.
Yeah. Okay, Lynn will bring something back to us on that for our next consideration, our next meeting. Mike?
I got a motion to make to have the October 19th meeting moved to Oxford Township offices. Thank you, Mr. Curtis, and
Second.
at 7 or 4:30.
It's booked?
Yep, I booked it.
Oh.
I booked it for us.
Oh, okay.
Who made the second? Margie?
Margaret?
Okay, we have a motion to change the meeting location for the next regular board meeting on October 19th to be location change to the Oxford Township offices.
Thank you.
Is there any question on it? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Thank you, Mike.
I make a motion to receive and file mileage reports, rider and mileage reports.
Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Board member comments?
I think we all comment.
Come on, Cody.
Anybody got a thought they want to express at this point in time?
Really? Has anybody nodded?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you heard from all of us.
Well,
We beat this to death, anyway.
let's give some kudos to the NODA employees because they're hanging in through this transition and everything that's going on. And, of course, we already know our managers are knee-deep in this, but, it's a change for everybody. So let's not forget that those people are having to deal with it as well, so
So stressful, you have to smoke dope.
definitely. Okay. All right. I'm waiting for
I make a motion to adjourn.
a second.
Okay.
And it is 5:33. Thank you, everybody. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
All right.
Great.
Opposed, please say no. Good meeting. Thank you, everybody.
We'll have cider.